Face the producer.
What's going on YouTube? Kegel here. Today I'm going to be doing an install video of an ambidextrous single point sling adapter. I purchased one. Sorry, I forgot where I was going with this. I purchased one before I got here, and I got it delivered. And I was showing all the stuff to my dad, of course, because my dad has his Bushmaster, and he decided he wanted to go ahead and order one of these as well. But because he didn't really ask anything about it, he went on. I don't even know where he went on and got it. Anyway, he got it delivered, and it has the Magpul symbol on the side, but it also says PTS on the other side. So from what I understand, that is like an airsoft or paintball item. But for the purpose of install, as far as I'm aware, it's the same. Obviously the one I had the tiny chuck key that fit right here. On mine there was a little space here where you can fit the chuck key and get this little piece to lock into your buffer tube. But as you can see, this one already has the little lip there, so I already went ahead and tried to install it, and it worked out fairly good. I did have to grind the top down a little bit because when it was installed, you couldn't charge the weapon. You couldn't actually pull back on the charging handle because it hit the top of that lip. So I just took it to the grinder and then the wire wheel and kind of smoothed out the edges. So hopefully it works. I didn't try it on after I grinded it down, but it should be enough. So let's go ahead and install this. First thing you want to do, obviously, is take down your weapon. And just kind of set your upper off to the side. Put mine in my case. And let's set it up here. Because I just did this, I didn't actually tighten that castle nut down all the way. But let's set it there. I went ahead and have this Tapco AR wrench, and it's awesome because it has the rubber side. First thing you want to do is go ahead and take out your buffer and your buffer spring. Kind of just get that out of the way. And then the next thing you want to do is go ahead and loosen up your castle nut on here. Like I said, I just did it hand tight just to get it out of the way. Now when you're loosening this castle nut, you want to be very careful. It's pretty easy. Just hold the bottom of this stock end plate, because there's a spring in there, and the spring holds tension on a pin that pretty much holds this takedown pin in place. So you just go ahead and hold the bottom. Go ahead and loosen this up. Just back it up until it doesn't go any further. There you go, and then just kind of slowly let pressure off of this plate. Put that down a little bit. And you can see the spring right there. And that's, like I said, that spring holds tension on a tiny pin, and that tiny pin holds tension. There's a little groove here. I know you can't see it with the light shining there, but it's alright. Okay. And just pull that back a little bit. What you want to do also is this little pin here to hold your buffer and your spring in. you want to hold tension on that. You want to hold it down, because if you start rotating this buffer tube out and don't hold that, there's a spring in here, and it will go flying. So you can take that out and set that aside for now, and then just go ahead and rotate your buffer tube all the way out. And that's that. And then just take this plate and pull it off. Here's the new one. Just slide it on with the old one. And you can go ahead and screw this back in. Obviously you want to hold that back as much as possible. You don't want it to catch on the spring. It will catch a little bit towards the last little bit, but once you start getting close, you can go ahead and throw your retaining pin back in there for your buffer and spring, and then just rotate it back. And on mine, the tube itself is what's the word I'm looking for? It's got a lip on it, so whenever you actually go far enough, it kind of covers part of that pin, and it keeps that from coming out. On my dad's Bushmaster, there's a little groove inside that buffer tube that whenever you have to hold it down past, all the way down. We ended up using just a small Allen key to push it down. And then there's a groove in the buffer tube itself, right down here, that fit around the pin, the top pin on that. So it's just interesting to see different types of buffer tubes. So some other people might have some different methods, but those are the two different between this Wyndham and my dad's Bushmaster. Okay, so once that is screwed back in, just be very careful whenever you are pushing this end plate. Sorry I'm moving the camera so much. Whenever you're pushing this end plate back, obviously, because that spring is back there, and you don't want to bend that spring at all. And I just hold it back, tighten this capsule nut up, and because, like I said, this end plate has one of those little notches on it, I don't have to add the chuck key, but obviously on the ASAP Sling that I purchased, that I let my dad have until he can order a new one. Whenever he orders a new one, it's probably going to be sitting here, obviously, because I'm not going to be able to bring this back to Japan with me. You have to hold this when you have this capsule nut all the way out. Sorry to keep going back and forth. Up underneath here, and I'm not going to be able to get that standing up, sorry. Well, there's a little notch where you would stick the chuck key through the little notch. Man, I want to get this light over here. Yeah, hold on one second. Let me get this situated and I'll come right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so what I was saying was, push this down against the load receiver, against the stock here, and right there on the bottom of the buffer tube is a little groove. And on the legit ASAP Sling from Magpul, there's a little notch inside the bottom of this end plate that where you stick a chuck key in. And the chuck key sits vertical along this plate, and the chuck key enters into this groove on the buffer tube, obviously to go ahead and keep the buffer tube from rotating out. But like I said, this one has a little notch on it, so all I had to do was just kind of slide it in there, and that kind of acts as the chuck key. But the ASAP Sling was a lot more beefier than this. It was a stronger metal, typical legit sling adapter. But this one kind of feels like aluminum, so it's kind of kind of flimsy, but you guys get the picture. And if that new adapter gets here if it gets here before I leave, then I'll be installing that, and I'll make a whole new video. But if not, you guys get this. So just go ahead and tighten that back up. Oh, this is a little off down here. Got my trusty big old punch. Just kind of get it to line up. And I have my calibrated elbow. I'm supposed to torque this to 40 or so foot-pound. Just gonna get it snug and leave it like that. So, after you got that put back in, do not, I repeat, do not forget to put this in. Do not. And I'll tell you why. If you want to safety check this, after you get this put back together, you know why you need a safety check, it's just this. However, it's always good to safety check your stuff. And you do not put this back in. If you go ahead and put that on fire and pull the trigger, and then try to safe this thing, and you pull the charging handle back, that whole bolt carrier group is going to go right back into your buffer tube, and it's going to be a pain in the dick to get that out. Believe me, I know from experience. So please, 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 and I will emphasize, do not forget to put this back in. You know, some people will be like, you're a dumbass for not putting it back in. Yay, that may be the case, but I forgot. And because I made a mistake, I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. So, put your buffer tube back in. And then once you got that put back in, go ahead and put your upper and lower back together. Just trying to get around here. And that's that. Your ambidextrous single point sling adapter. Maybe cheap, but it'll work for now. It'll work for whatever I need to work for. I'm not going to be hauling this around in the desert. I'm not going to be hauling it around during doing tactical courses, for right now at least. But by the time I decide I want to go ahead and do some tactical courses, I'll have the legit adapter. So, with that being said, if you guys have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, which I hope some people do have some, please leave them in the comment section below. And that's about it. You guys have a wonderful day. And hopefully I'll get some damn videos of me shooting this thing. I haven't shot it yet. I know NS Trapper Hunters and Barry's been trying to get me to get him some pictures, some videos of me shooting this gun. So very soon I'll get those to you. So please stay tuned. And as always, take care and stay safe. Kegel out.